Hi Kaya, how's it going?
Going all right. How are you, Sophie?
I'm doing all right here myself. So how did you start your journey into EDM and just wanting to be in the music scene, DJ and music production?
So I started playing piano when I was 4 and percussion and just kind of kept doing music my whole life. And when I was 13, one of my really good friends took her own life, and my therapist suggested I write about it. And I couldn't really do what I wanted to do with just like a piano or with a traditional band. And that's when I started getting into EDM production, and I haven't stopped. I just I love it, and it's a good way for me to get out my emotions. It's also I met so many wonderful people through it. I know you just did an interview with Web Mama. She's one of my all-time favorite people. And I would never have met her if I wasn't doing this. So kind of keep going in it largely because I just like the interactions I have and the people I meet and how genuine everybody is.
Yeah, I feel like that with my art. And I was gonna try to get into music, but I sing and do classical music and I have a degree in that, but I don't know how
I'm
to
I'm sorry, it's breaking up a lot. Could you repeat that?
I was saying I have a degree in Indian classical music,
Okay,
but I'd like to get
cool.
into making music just for myself. I don't know if I'd be any good outside, but just for myself as an outlet.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So how's your style varied over the years?
So when I first started making my own music, I made orchestral, and then I was in like a really awful punk band. And after that band broke up, I put my time full time into EDM, and I started out in house and trance, and that's largely because that's what I grew up listening to with my parents. And I'd met this dude on internet message boards named Tim, uh, who at the time was also starting out, and by the time like I was 16, had made a name for himself as Avicii, and he was my mentor. So I was kind of learning how to do what I do from him, and since he makes nothing but trance in house, that's everything I made for a long time. And I always really liked heavy metal and the more industrial sounds. So, I started branching into heavier and heavier as I went. Um, and now I kind of just make whatever I'm feeling. Like I'm working on an experimental album right now that has elements of drum and bass and like glitch and dubstep and house and trance all throughout it.
Oh, nice. By the way, I just wanted to welcome you to 360 Art Drops and also give a big shout out to Web Mama for for introducing you to me. Um,
Yeah.
I thought that was really nice of her. And just thank you for being on 360 Art Drops with me.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, thank you for having me.
yeah. So do you run other small businesses along to keep you going or
I'm sorry. Could you repeat that one more time? I think that we don't have the best connection.
no, it's not the best connection. I just wanted to ask you do you run other small businesses to keep you going or
So I work in the nonprofit sector, working with like youth after school care, for my
oh
day job.
nice.
And then I also run a small underground indie label called No Factor Records. And I don't really make money from that, but it is like something to do with my time and help other artists make money.
Yeah, that's how I feel about this podcast. But hopefully I can keep on going with something else and then bring it back so I can eventually make money and do what I like all the time.
Hmm.
It's like
Yeah.
most artists feel. Um,
Yeah.
what's your experience collaborating or obviously you're into uplifting women with the Girl Gang Collective. Did I say that right?
Hmm. Yeah, you said that perfectly. Yeah, I've been a member of Girl Gang since the third day it existed. And that's because I just go way back with Jeannie. We've been friends online for years, and when she announced it, I was like, "Hey, are trans women welcome?" And she like was like, "Let me ask the other people in the Discord right now and make sure they're comfortable with that." But I'm fine, and they were all cool, so I jumped on. And um, so a lot of that Discord has been a space for us to like vent and support each other about our experiences as women in the industry, because it's usually not great, especially here in the US.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then also to collaborate with each other. So there's a whole channel in there for songwriting where those of us who are lyricists get together with other lyricists and like, hey, I have like this idea. It's not great. Let's workshop it. Um, that's been awesome. And then like with Null Factor, I work with a lot of like varied artists from musicians to like visual artists. We've done a bunch of streaming fundraisers together.
Uh-huh.
So that was cool. And the coolest thing, not collaborating necessarily making art, but in running a show, a little bit after lockdown, I got together. Sorry,
You okay?
I got. Yeah, I'm all right. My allergies are just really bad today, so I'm coughing a bit and sneezing, and
Okay.
yeah. Uh, but what was I saying? So we got together with the Electric Movement and Sweet Spot Sounds and another collective that I'm blanking on the name of, and the four different collectives slash labels did a 3 day, like 10 hours a day streaming festival,
Oh, wow.
raising money for a bunch of different causes. We each like each day was for a different organization that the other group had picked. And so it was like a day dedicated to each label, but then there'd also be like four artists from the others peppered in throughout. So it was, I think we had like 40 people play.
Oh, wow.
And that was just really cool. Like, because it started out as me like messaging a friend and be like, yo, wouldn't it be funny if like we crossed over? And he's like, actually.
He's like, we already got it planned.
Yeah, he's like, actually, that'd be dope. And you know who else would be dope? And I'm like, and we said the same person. And then I'm like, okay, let me talk to my CFO, Jackie Rionda, who she's on socials as GRO Jackie. She does a lot of stuff running Girl Gang and running Null Factor and also works with Brownies and Lemonade. And like a month later, we planned this whole thing and had it ready to go.
That's great. So what would you say your biggest challenge was when you first started?
Ooh, I I'll be real here. I didn't know what quantize was like at all. So I was just like, oh, if it's out of time, it's out of time. So I just re-record and re-record until I eventually gave up.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of my music
What is
therefore was like
quantize?
quantize. Okay, so when you're in a DAW, like a music making software, and you play MIDI, because I didn't use the piano roll, I didn't click in that, I used a keyboard.
Uh-huh.
Um, it has like a time code, and quantizing locks it to a certain like division, so like 16th notes, eighth notes, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Um, and if you don't do that, it's wherever you played it, which might be a little bit ahead or behind what you wanted. And when I was first starting doing this, I was like 13 and I was a decent musician, but like I was not anywhere near the level of like playing perfectly with the computer. I could play with an orchestra, but orchestras always have moments where we like drag or rush and the conductor kind of controls that.
Right.
Um, so like a lot of my early music, nothing's on the same beat or subdivision. It's all just kind of around each other and it does not sound good. It took me a year since I was like at that point largely self-taught to learn that you could adjust that and fix it.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, I just never heard that word used for it. I mean, I got that there's a certain number of beats that you have to follow and stuff, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know it's called quantizing.
Quantize, it's called quantizing just because it's the computer shifting things for you to that.
Right. How do you keep a balance between all these different goals that you have? And, obviously you want to do what you enjoy and gives you life, um, first and foremost, but, you obviously need the other stuff to keep going because otherwise you won't have a place to live.
Yeah. I mean, I struggle with that balance. I like when I'm writing, sometimes it'll be like I'm sitting down for an hour to do that, and other times I'll be like I'm sitting down for an hour, and then I look up and it's been 10 hours and I have no idea what happened, and I have to go to work having not slept at all.
Oh no.
You know, so I struggle with that, but I manage my way through. I have a really good support network too. A lot of good friends, an excellent girlfriend, and very supportive family who kind of like when they see me starting to burn out or like put too much energy into one thing and not enough into the others, kind of helps redirect me gently into where I need to be.
That's great, Kaya. Um, so what's your favorite memory of an event that you went to or an event that you performed in or something that you've created? All of those.
So so I
Sorry.
think well Mama's already talked about this some because she told me she mentioned our show together, but my first ever out of state show, I was direct support for a headlining show she was doing. And nothing on the decks was working except for like load, eject, play, and pause and cue. That's it. So,
Oh,
and that was my first time ever on like real CDJs. So that was terrifying, but like it went really well. The crowd loved it. Everyone there loved it. And at the end of the night, well, Mama like reprised her headlining set because some people had gone to a Liquid Stranger show in Chicago and left before he went on so they could come see her. And halfway through, she's just like, "Hey, Sarah Benio, Zero Sum, get on the stage. Like we're gonna." And we did this back to back, and I didn't like I was running off of Sarah's flash drive, and she names things really funnily. It's like the one with the fluttery sound. I'm like, I have no idea what that means, but cool. So like, was just flying by the seat of my pants and feeding off the energy of like two of my favorite people that I had never gotten to meet in person before then, and we were all just up there throwing down as hard as we could and hyping each other up, and it was just one of the best moments of my life, and I really hope we get to do that again, um maybe with a little bit more preparation so that like we're not having technical issues, but like it was just really really fun. It was this really cool moment where we all have very different styles and techniques for DJing, and getting to see how they did it versus how I did it, and then like afterwards all talking about it and giving each other pointers and critique was just it's a really cool moment of like bonding
goodness of the
and
year.
supporting each other and learning from each other. And it was just so cool.
Do you feel like in most of the events that you play in, do you feel like there's a constant like energy that's like hyped up that you're able to put in not just for you like you said, but like
Mhm.
the ongoing energy of of the people playing in the crowd. Do you feel like you it's it's mostly like that on most of the times that you play, or do you feel like there's something better that you could do or
Um, I do feel like it's that way most of the time after I get into it, but like for the first 20 minutes of almost any show I'm doing, if I'm alone, I'm legitimately trying not to throw up. I have really bad stage fright and
uh-huh.
crowd anxiety.
Yeah, I have some
Like,
anxiety too, but I just pushed myself to do this.
hmm
But almost kind of a little more intimate because I'm talking just to you instead of like a whole bunch of people. That would give me like the heebie-jeebies, I think.
yeah, no, someone asked me the other day what my pre-show ritual is, and I'm like, take my anti-nausea meds, take my anti-diarrheal meds, and pray, and then I go on stage.
Oh no.
Um, and and like I'm terrified for like the first 10, 15 minutes, and then I kind of just get lost in the music. I'm not really like watching the crowd anymore.
Uh-huh.
I'm just doing my thing, and that fear starts to melt away, and usually about 30 minutes into it, that's like I'm always moving around because I keep time by dancing.
Uh-huh.
Um, because if I'm trying to count and trying to remember everything else I'm doing, it's just too much for my brain. So I'm just moving to it, and that helps me keep time. So it's like it looks like I'm having a good time, and then about 30 minutes into it, I'm usually like, yeah, I'm actually having a good time. I start interacting with the crowd more, and like I remember this show I did not too long ago in Cleveland. It was all women and trans femmes and non-binary individuals performing, and like 30 minutes into it, I was just like You know what? I don't want to play dubstep anymore. I switched to hard style and like I was on the side stage and everybody from the main room came over to see what I was doing.
Oh, nice. So is there a certain event that you play every year or every month? You're in Seattle, right?
No, I'm in Ohio. I
Where
know
in
What Mama
Ohio?
through Girl Gang.
Oh, okay, I get it
Yeah.
now. I didn't know where exactly you were. So I was like trying to get
Yeah,
the time difference, but I thought you were in Seattle.
that makes sense. That would explain why it was so confusing. Yeah, I'm 3 hours behind Courtney, so
Yeah, I think
which
you're
like
13 and a half hours behind me.
something like that. Yeah, it's a big time difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Um, I'm not doing anything super regularly right now just because like a lot of the people I knew went under over lockdown from COVID.
right,
So a lot of the places I used to play regularly like
disappeared.
don't even exist anymore. It's honestly kind of sad because they were like such community hubs. It wasn't just people who liked the music. Like a lot of them also would be like half of ticket proceeds were like running a soup kitchen, half of them are going to like homeless shelters and that kind of stuff. So like it was a real community hub that this guy I know named Ryan was running, and that's like it's really sad that it's gone.
Yeah, I guess a lot of places
Um,
closed down. I moved to India like right before that happened,
mhm.
so um it's they don't have quite a bit of a music scene around here. It's really
Yeah.
really yeah, so it's really hard for me to get that like part of me kind of satisfied because I just feel like something's still missing for me. Um
Mhm.
I'm obviously I can't create, on the same levels or anything. I would just mess around. I'm just gonna mess around, but I really miss I really miss going out and meeting people who like the same kind of music or just sharing those moments. I miss that.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah.
what advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out?
Give it time. It's like it's not about it's a little bit about what you pay for because with technology you do get like what you give to a certain extent.
Uh-huh.
Like maybe invest in like one like top of the line synth that you're really interested in and want to learn inside and out.
Uh-huh.
And then like depending on what DAW you're using, like if you're using Ableton, maybe invest in a good EQ because theirs is just terrible. But beyond that, like the tech and money isn't what's going to make you successful. It's the time and practicing your craft. That 10,000 hours thing is really, really true.
Oh, I
Um,
see.
and a lot of people, I do music mentoring. A lot of people I know like get frustrated at the beginning are like trying to sound like Excision or Ray Volpe or some big name right off the bat, and they're like, I spent like $2,000 and I don't know why I don't sound like them. I'm like, well, your first mistake was you spent $2,000. Because I'm looking at your project file and it's clear you don't even know what automation is yet, and that's a really important factor in being able to do what they're doing.
Uh-huh.
Um, and you kind of wasted your money on all the stuff that you don't know how to use yet because you don't know how to use the basics yet. Oh, laundry's done. Sorry for the song in the background. My girlfriend's dryer likes to sing to us.
It's okay. So
But like just be patient with it and put in that time and know that you're probably gonna suck when you start out. For them, I sucked. So I don't play any of my like first 2 years of music to anyone because it's unlistenable garbage.
yeah,
But
I guess
it's only by sucking for a long time that you can get to a point where like I'm proud of that and someone else would like to hear that.
for me with painting, I felt like I was pretty good with it. And I have a lot of different styles that emerged almost pretty immediately, but I was kind of self-taught. I didn't
Hmm.
but I don't think I would be like that with music because it's just so much more complicated to my brain and the way it operates.
Yeah,
Um
it's a whole language that you have to learn. and the language isn't standard either. It changes to like I'm blessed to have experience playing both like gamelan groups and West African hand drumming groups and also Western art music because they're completely different musical languages and styles and like even in talking about that like the way notes are notated is different. Like in gamelan, it's just like okay, so this is your first note, which whatever instrument that's going to be your root, and then they have half step, quarter step, and whole step, and you just need to know where that is on the instrument instead of being like, I'm trying to play a C or an F. Those aren't labeled.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask you to throw out all your social media links so people can
Yeah,
follow you.
yeah. Let me grab those real quick.
And if you want to remind me, I'll put it in the comments below so that people can see it on YouTube afterwards.
Yeah, because I'm gonna throw out a link tree because most things you can find me by looking for zero sum. That's Z3R05.
Um,
Twitter it's zero sum official. Instagram it's zero sum. I think Facebook zero sum official. Threads is zero sum official. TikTok I don't remember to be honest.
just like
Um
whenever you have a chance, just send me like like a little paragraph with all of the links so that I can put it under there. And I
yeah,
encourage everyone
I
who's
just sent
on
a
the
link tree to
podcast to,
everything in the chat. So
yeah, that's perfect. Um, and also if there's anything else, like any other advice or anything else you wanted to share with the audience, I just want to let you go for it.
yeah, in terms of advice, like if you want to make music, it's great to learn by trying to copy others. Like it's a great way to learn how the format's done, but ultimately be true to yourself and do what you want to do. You're gonna be a lot happier and have more fun with it. And it is fun, but it's a lot of work too. So if you're not enjoying yourself and trying things you want to try, you're gonna get sick of it and just give up.
Yeah, I could understand that. And like your most favorite memory, like your most favorite event that you were at.
Most favorite I was at was definitely Ohio Rave Sisters 2, which was in Cleveland. One of the other girls who played that show with me and Wub Mama lives out in Cleveland, which is like only 2 hours from me. And she put me in touch with the booker, and it was just this great warehouse. It was very underground
Uh-huh.
um warehouse show. We had like 20 artists performing. It lasted all night. We ended at like 3 in the morning, and nobody left the venue from the performers until 7 a.m. because we were all just hanging out, talking and
Oh
networking
wow.
and getting to know each other. Like my best friend is someone I met because like we both played that show, and she mostly does like house and space bass, and I kind of do open format. And I was like, does anyone want to do like a hardstyle back to back in this like one empty set we have because someone got sick and couldn't come? And she's like, I never get to play that. Hell yes, I want to do that. Um, and like we just went up, and it's like I have this flash drive, you have yours. We'll see what we've got, and we made that work. And like she and I still talk at least once a week. And that show was back in I think December of last year.
Oh wow. That's great. Yes, so I just wanted to thank you so much, Kaya, for everything and sharing your knowledge with us and your experiences. And if you ever want to come on again, or if you have any friends who would like to be
Hmm.
a little more exposed in the music and arts, and or if they have a small business, they're most welcome to join. Because it's open to
Yeah,
like
thank
all
you.
small businesses. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. Um,
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna recommend you to a friend of mine that's in France because he's one of the most insane artists I've ever met. He's writing novels, movies, doing paintings, short films, and like performing as six wildly different artists.
Uh-huh.
Um, like completely different genres and musical styles. and doing an augmented reality game and the whole thing. He's building this sci-fi world
Oh
for his
wow.
music, and he's got something like a total of 20 followers across platforms. And I'm like, but people need to know he's insane. He's always, whenever I've done like a streaming show, like my favorite set of the night. Because he puts everything into it and he designs everything from the ground up, and like I'm helping him copy edit the English translation of his first book right now. And more people need to know about him because
Oh
he's
yeah, most
absolutely insane as an
definitely is
artist.
welcome. And yeah, do you also have your sets on YouTube or
I have some of them on YouTube. Uh, so people want to go check that out. I also have some on Mixcloud, and then my original music is on just about every streaming platform.
okay, awesome. Yeah, thank you again, and we'll see you soon. You can always update me when you have some stuff coming out, and I would be it would be my pleasure to have you on again.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, yeah, when this album's coming out, I'll send you an advanced copy, and if you want to talk about that, I'd love to.
Okay, much love.
Cool.
Bye.
Much love. Bye.
Bye.